Hi, I'm Rob Masters from Synthax UK. I'm here with DV247 to take you through some of the fine points of Totalmix FX, which is a fantastic digital mixing software built into the hardware of many of RME's interfaces. Right, so here we have Totalmix FX, which is built into the Babyface, the Fireface UCX, the Fireface UFX, and the MADI FX card. There's some small differences, which I'll tell you about later, but what we've got plugged in right now is the UFX. So you see here we have three banks of faders. All along the top row you have all of your hardware inputs on the actual unit itself. On the middle row you have your outputs from software, so outputs from Logic, iTunes, etc. On the bottom row you have your hardware outputs. Now, one of the main strengths of Totalmix is that you can send pretty much anything to anywhere in any combination. So for example, if I wanted to send a software playback channel coming out of Logic, so you see here we have some playback coming through. I want to send that to ADAT 15 and 16. All you do is select ADAT 15 and 16. Now that's your destination. So any faders you raise will be routed through to that output in the combination that you select. So I send through the desired amount of signal there. I can mix in input from a mic, for example, by raising a fader on one of the mic inputs. And literally you can create an individual submix on every single stereo output. So you can then select a different output as your destination and start from scratch and select the amount of the playback signal you want to send and create another completely independent mix. Now this is one of the main strengths of Totalmix because this actually happens in hardware. So when you send an input directly to an output, you're effectively doing that without going through the computer. So there's no delay involved. The latency is effectively zero, and you can have a musician listening to a monitor feed without the annoying delay of going through the computer. On top of this, there's a full DSP in both the UFX and the UCX and the new MADI FX card, which gives you a lot of powerful options in terms of FX. So you can see, for example, on all the inputs, you have a full 3-band parametric EQ. On all the outputs, again, you have another EQ, as well as dynamics on both inputs and outputs as well. So we look in the Dynamics tab, you see we've got compression, expansion, and also an auto-leveling feature. And that's the same on all the outputs as well. On top of this, you've got a reverb and echo bus, so you can bus signals out to the reverb and echo bus over here, and add that to your mix, to a musician's monitor feed, for example, without loading the computer, because it's all done on the onboard DSP of the UFX, the UCX, and the MADI FX card. The Babyface doesn't have quite as many features, but it still comes packaged with a full EQ on every single input and output, as well as the reverb and echo bus. So for a box of that size, and with that channel count, you've got a lot of capability in terms of effects and routing already built in. Moreover, you've got a control room section down here in the bottom right corner. Now, this is a great feature of the new version of Totalmix, which actually allows you to organise your outputs in terms of setting your main monitors, setting which channels you're using as headphones, for example, and gives you a lot of features which you'd expect from a standalone monitor controller. So things like dim, recall level, you can switch between two sets of speakers with a single button push, and you can also select mono and talk back, as well as things like mute effects. There's a lot of tools within there to allow you to do what you would do with a separate monitor controller through your Totalmix window. This is also controllable via an external remote, so you don't have to go into your computer to do this. You can have a remote on your desktop, which you can control all these various features from button pushes, etc. So what you have here is a very, very comprehensive mixer, monitor controller, all built in to the hardware of the UFX, UCX, the Babyface, and the MADI FX. The possibilities are large in terms of what you can do with it, and it doesn't have to be hard to get to grips with. You've already seen how simple the routing is. All the effects come set up with various factory presets already. So on day one, you don't have to go in and twiddle knobs. You can just go and select a bass drum setting, for example, cymbals, etc. And then as you come to get to grips with the interface over time, you can tweak your settings, save your settings as presets, recall them later, all that kind of thing. One of the great features as well for first-time users is the reset mix button. So if we go into options, is you have reset mix. So if you've played around with it, not sure what you've done, worried that you've lost your audio, etc., just hit reset mix, straight playback, mix to main outs, and you'll have a mix to your main outputs immediately. So easy way to get audio out of your system. So there it is, Totalmix FX. It's a very comprehensive mixer, and it comes bundled with every RME interface, the UFX, the UCX, the Babyface, and the MADI FX card.